Hi, I'm Robbie with Delta Millworks. Today we're here outside of Glenwood Springs. I'm here with Adam from Bryan May Architecture. They do some incredible work here in the Aspen area. We're at an in-progress house of theirs, and they utilized a unique Lunawood product for their siding. So Adam, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you so much. Thanks for coming around.
Absolutely. Tell us a little bit about this project.
We looked at all the houses around the valley and around the other designs that we see around here, and we wanted to stand out, to be honest. We wanted to do something a little bit different. We wanted to make sure that we didn't look like everyone else in this HOA. The HOA have quite a strict guideline on what you can and can't do, which is quite typical around Aspen.
Tell us about why this product was selected and what you guys like about it.
We've been using Delta Millworks for a couple of our projects around Aspen, and we really love the product that you guys offer. And we stumbled actually across the Duo, and it was just an amazing product, amazing profile. It was a little bit different to what we typically use and what you typically see around the designs around this valley. The Duo really creates a unique profile that creates unique shadows and really nice textures to the building itself. We love the product, and we honestly didn't choose anything else. It was our first selection, and the clients gravitated to it too, and they loved the fact that it was a little bit different to what they'd typically seen.
Great, great. Were there any challenges working with a profile like this that's not necessarily a traditional tongue and groove siding profile?
Definitely, a few little challenges, but nothing that can be overcome. I mean, one example is our windows. Because of the depth of the wood and because it's a rain screen profile, a rain screen system, we had to actually sort of extend our window jambs and our window extensions on the exteriors, just to create like a bit of a surround around the windows to get the waterproofing correct. But I think it actually adds to the additional texture, and it adds to the depth of the wood and the beauty of the wood itself.
That's great. What about performance and kind of appearance expectations, how this wood is going to age? Are you going to let the wood age naturally? I know you guys put a clear coat on it recently.
We did. We put a clear coat just immediately, just to really bring out the grain of the wood. And the client really loved the texture, and also just the graininess of the wood, the knots and everything like that. What we really want to do with the product is we're going to let the wood, especially because in the mountains here we have a lot of UV sunlight, and it gets, wood products age quite quickly here just because of the sun exposure. So what we've told the client is the best thing that we can do is let it age, and as soon as you like the color of it, let's reseal it again.
Sure, sure.
So they're really excited about really kind of picking the color that they want, which is really unique with wood products. You don't have to be locked into anything. We can let it age a little bit nicer and really keep it for a good many years.
I think the wood in the project is just incredible overall. Nice work, great installation as well. Yeah, anything else you want to comment about the wood or the project? But everything's looking amazing.
I have to give props to the builders, Stillwater. They've been doing a great job, and we worked really hard getting the profiles together, and as you can imagine, getting a corner to meet on such a unique profile takes a bit of time and a bit of design work, but I think the end product sort of speaks to itself. It really works really well.
Yeah, your details are really great. We'll take a look at the rain screen here in a little bit. Little closer, but yeah, the corners are really tight. Installation was great, and this overall design is really nice. Yeah,
the contrast with the stone and the metal windows, and the soffits, which are the cedar. I think it ties in really well, and it still feels like a mountain home, but it doesn't also feel like a mountain home, which is nice. I think it's a modern interpretation of the mountain home, basically.
I think it really sits well with the environment, the trees, the mountain, the surrounding area. It's going to fit really well in this setting.
Yeah, I mean, look at this. Look at the views. It's just amazing around here. You don't want to detract from that, that's for sure.
Absolutely. Well, Adam, tell us a little bit about the initial process. What went into designing this house, and ultimately, like the initial conversations with selecting the wood siding.
Yeah, so the clients, I have to also give them a lot of props. They were fantastic clients, really receptive to using very alternate products and something a little bit different and outside the box. This is their first home that they've ever built themselves. They came from the Midwest and they moved to the valley here, just for the beauty of the valley. We spent a lot of time with them figuring out what they wanted to do and how they wanted to design their house, and it's a very custom home for their needs and wants. And I think the wood and the siding kind of reflect that as well, And so I think the wood itself and the building and the design really reflect who they are as people and how they live. And we want the wood and the siding to kind of integrate with that too.
That's great, that's great. What do you like about architecture in this area? I know it's a beautiful mountain area. I know the homes, there's a lot that goes into these homes. I know some of the nicest houses really in the country, in our opinion. We love doing work up here. But why do you like working up here?
Well, as you can tell, I'm not from here. I'm Australian originally. I moved here in 2017, and you know, the uniqueness of the environment here, the clients that we have, and the ability to really push the boundaries on a lot of our projects. I think a lot of our clients are willing to move forward and push architecture in a unique direction. And that gravitated to me was, yes, we're still building mountain homes, but we're building them in a different way. And we're building them in a way that hopefully is, you know, people haven't really seen. Like I mentioned before, we have a lot of guidelines and, you know, design requirements that we need with surrounding HOAs and the design that we are allowed to do. However, you know, you can still sort of push the boundaries a little bit, and by using traditional products, albeit with different profiles and unique textures, we can still sort of fit within those guidelines, but do something a little bit different.
Adam, let's take a look at a few more details here. We love seeing a rain screen system like this. It really gives us a behind the scenes shot at what's behind this site.
Yeah, I mean, the rain screen really is the best way to really install this product. It just sort of helps with ventilation behind the actual wood product itself, and you know, really gets you a really nice, even and straight surface to work with. So we can see, you know, we've got our waterproofing behind and our sheeting behind that waterproofing panel, this orange. And then we have a few shims and a 1x4 panel that we installed to create that detachment, or that sort of gap between the back of the Lunawood panel and the building itself. You know, there are some challenges, you know, because of the depth of the product. We had to start looking at different jambs for windows and extensions to make sure everything lined up well. And also you can see with power outlets and lights, you know, you have to work through a couple of little tricky details, but nothing that's sort of out of the ordinary. I mean, it is a very typical rain screen detail, so it works really well. The climate here, you know, really, it's quite a harsh climate. You know, we're standing in the southern exposure now, so this product gets really baked in the winter, and then also obviously in the summer, sorry, and obviously in the winter time we get harsh winters and the freeze thaw that we get here. So having that ability for the movement of air behind it really helps the product.
Yeah, vertical siding installations are notoriously tricky compared to a horizontal siding installation. With horizontal, you can nail your furring direct to your substrate. With a vertical siding, as we're seeing here, as Adam mentioned, we have to shim out the horizontal furring strips because you want moisture to be able to flow behind these furring strips. Adam, we were talking about the dryness of this wood. This is a thermally modified wood, so it is delivered really around the 5 to 6% moisture content range. How does that affect your decision to use a product like this in this dry environment?
Honestly, it was one of the first attributes of the wood that we gravitated to. Because of the harshness of the climate here, we learnt about this wood through Delta Millworks, obviously, and you know, we loved the attributes that the wood had. It really suits this climate. We do have a very harsh climate here, and finding out that it would, you know, all the moisture was drawn out of it, and the fact that it has an extremely long lifespan, it helps our client make a decision on the product itself, just because we told them that the maintenance is just dramatically less than what you typically have on wood siding. You know, we've put a sealer on this, as we mentioned, but you know, we want to let it age a little bit, and the aging actually helps the product as well. So once we get it to that point that they like, we can reseal it again, and it's going to last for a very long time. So obviously that's very attractive to a client, that they kind of need to set it and forget it.
One thing that really drew us to Lunawood, I mean, they've been producing these products for about 20 years now, but you know, coming from Finland in a harsh Scandinavian environment where they utilize a lot of wood in their construction projects and homes, you'll see, you know, entire homes built almost solely out of wood. If these products can withstand those types of environments, I think they will hold up in other types of harsh environments here in the US.
You know, I think they know what they're doing over there in Scandinavia. They do use a lot of wood products, and you know, I think we do in the mountains here as well. So that knowledge of wood and how it reacts to different temperatures and climate and zones, and you know, we could use this product in the desert, we could use it in a very tropical climate, and it would act the exact same, and it would age the same.
Absolutely. We were talking about the fasteners. With this type of profile, we have to have an exposed fastener. which some people push back at initially because they want to see just the wood product. But I think you guys did a great job. Very clean installation overall, but these fasteners, they really blend in with the wood. I know there was some discussion about the color of the fasteners and choosing the right color to blend in with the wood, and also how the wood's going to look once it ages over the years. But what was the process behind the fastener selection?
It is always a contentious discussion to have with clients, and the design itself. You either expose them and you make a big, you make them look quite exposed and contrasting, or you try and hide it away. I think what the best thing about the product that we have here is, it all comes down to what we have in the substrate. So the way that we sort of installed the shims and the backing, it really allowed for a really continuous line all the way around the building. That was first and foremost really important. And then secondly, we worked really hard to try and get the right color. But because the wood has a lot of knots and texture, it wasn't as important as we really thought it needed to be. I mean, yes, we wanted to find something that could seamlessly connect to the wood. We wanted to find a nail that could seamlessly just be installed and you wouldn't really see it too much, but because of the texture of the wood, you take 2 steps back and you don't even know there's fasteners in there. So it basically is a concealed fastener.
The character of this wood really offers some forgiveness with these exposed fasteners. From a few feet away, you can barely see them. What about these corners? We don't always recommend minor corners, but with this profile, it's hard to cap them or do any type of inside aluminum corner piece. These are very tight seams. The installers did a great job. I think with the stability of this wood, you're not really going to see much movement on here. That's one thing we're concerned about with traditional cedars or traditional wood siding products. You can get some shrinkage, especially in this climate, and have that open up. But these are really clean and just looks amazing.
Yeah, I have to say, when I first came to site, when they first installed some of these panels, I was blown away at how beautifully they had installed this product. We worked really hard with the builder to basically set our corners and go from there. And as you can see with this house, there's a lot of right angles and a lot of pop outs and ins and outs. So it took us a while to really figure it out. But drawings can only take you so far. I mean, there's a lot of building tolerances that you have to think about, and the guys on site just, they took the drawings we put together and we worked out, you've got to start from the corner and you work your way backwards. And we took out little pieces of each panel, more so in the middle of the building. So you start at the corners and you work your way out, and then you take a little bit off 5 or 6 of those panels that are more in the center of the building, so it looks much more continuous and seamless.